morning, folks. It is Sunday morning here in New Zealand. I thought that it might be kind of interesting to do a vlog because at the moment I'm looking for part-time work, but in the meantime I am a full-time illustrator. So I'm filling my time with sort of building up my portfolio more than it has been. Finishing off the Harry Potter book covers that you've probably been seeing trickle out over the past couple of months now. Started at the beginning of July, and yeah, so I've been also looking at how I can set these up into some sort of products. Ideally what I wanted to do was make them into cloth-bound notebooks, but I looked into the cost of that, and especially of doing multiple different designs, and it just was going to be far too expensive, and I was going to have to order them in very large quantities. So unfortunately that's not going to be happening at this point, but I am looking at some local printers to have art prints made up. The trouble I've been having is with the gold foil, because gold foil printing is quite expensive, and I haven't been able to find anywhere that is local that will do both the giclée printing, so like fine art printing, and gold foil. It seems to be one or the other. I did find a place in Melbourne in Australia that does it, but that would be quite an expense with the shipping and everything as well, and I would prefer to do it locally. The conclusion I've come to is that I may have to do the foiling by hand, which is probably going to be quite painstaking and time-consuming, but it will mean that each print will be slightly different because it will be handcrafted, and yeah, it means that I will have had more of a hand in it. So I kind of like the idea of that, but for that reason there'll probably be a limited print run. I have just ordered some fabric with these designs printed on them, and I'm going to make up some tote bags. And I had looked at some sort of fulfillment companies and doing it through places like Society6, and I've used Society6 in the past. The reason I've decided to go a different route with these is because I really want to have that extra level of control over what I'm doing. Obviously it's a lot more work, and Society6 is great in that they just do everything, but I would like to be able to put my own little labels on them, and just little touches like that. It means that I can do the shipping and fulfillment as well, which means I can put in a little note into each order, and just things like that that I always appreciate when I order something from an online seller. So yeah, that hopefully will be launching in the not too distant future, because like I said, the fabric's on its way, and I will be going into the printers next week. It's all kind of go here. I thought I might just do a little vlog type thing to show you what I'm doing. It's a combination of things at the moment. I'm also continuing to work on a few different book covers, so some new stuff will be going up on my portfolio website very soon. As for now, I've got a pot of tea here, because why would you have one cup of tea when you can have multiple? So I'm going to pour this and get on with my Sunday. Well, yesterday I was looking at prints and fabric. Today I'm looking at getting some postcards printed, and I've got a bit of a dilemma because I've got 31 different designs, and I want to ideally get at least 30 of them printed. But of course, with most printers, if you're printing a batch, it's cheaper the more you buy, or it's cheaper per postcard, but that's just for one design. So I'm thinking I might get a run of cards done just as promotional material, so they would all be the same, and then go to someone like Moo Cards, who I've used before for business cards and things. They are a bit more expensive, but they allow you to have as many different designs as you want. Actually, I've got some samples here of my work from the past. So this is one of their postcards, or one of my postcards that I've printed through them for the Catherine Mansfield book cover. And then on the back, quite a simple design. So the backs of all of these are the same, but the fronts are, of course, different. I've got a couple there for the signature of all things, and then also for the library. I should probably mention that this is my parents' place that I'm staying at. I could not afford to rent or to buy a place like this. Anyway, I'm here sort of indefinitely at the moment. I haven't exactly got plans to move elsewhere, but it very much depends on what kind of job I can get. It will probably just be a part-time thing, I hope, so that I can really focus on the design stuff. Because, well, as I said, at the moment I'm treating it as a full-time job. More than full-time, actually. I've been putting in very long days. I do really enjoy most of what I'm doing, so that does make a big difference. While I'm here, I realised I haven't done a sort of flip through my sketchbook, at least the sketchbook, for a little while, so thought I might show you a little bit of what I've been doing. A bit of lettering stuff here. This is all stuff that I did on the plane, and I cannot recommend this enough. Having a project to do on a long-haul flight made the time go so much quicker. So I would definitely recommend that, and I will certainly be doing that in the future. So yeah, I was sort of doing thumbnails for The Secret History, and while I was listening to the audiobook of The Secret History, re-listening to it, it's one of my favourite books of all time, and I've sort of been thinking over the past few months, what would I do for a book cover, because I'm doing a few of my favourite books at the moment, just as portfolio pieces. And yeah, so I was sort of exploring a few different ideas here, and here is what will probably go on to be a final design. The sun has come out, it's nearly midday, and still can't quite see the mountains, but it's looking an awful lot brighter than it was. Just to show you some of the garden down below. So New Zealand native trees down there. And so many birds at the moment. It's just filled with birdsong. I have just ordered hundreds of postcards through two different companies. Moo Cards for one of them, because I wanted to get the lots of different designs, and then Vistaprint as well for more kind of promotional postcards. Yeah, I've ordered 3 designs from them, and yeah, it's nearly 500 postcards all up. So they will be arriving in the next week or two. The hike back up the hill has warmed me up, so I'm all ready to go for an afternoon of designing and actually doing some drawing, because yeah, this morning and yesterday was all sort of laying things out in InDesign and uploading things to websites and then doing the revisions and all of that, which is it's not terrible work, but it's not exactly what I love to do. So the plan now is to actually reward myself by allowing myself to do some actual design work. So as you saw there, I've actually got quite a bit done. Made quite a lot of progress on the Secret History cover. Usually it's sort of just getting those initial shapes down isn't really the thing that takes a long time. It's more the nitty-gritty stuff at the end. It seems to be that sort of most half of it seems to be when it almost looks finished, but you just have to keep going and going. Would you look at that? It is 20 to 3 and I haven't had lunch yet, so I should probably do that. Right, so I've been working for most of the afternoon and I've just made myself some dinner and eaten it as well. As you can see, it is dark outside now. And yeah, I mostly finished my Secret History cover, which didn't actually take me as long as I thought, although chances are I will look at it tomorrow and think this needs a lot more work. That's usually the way this goes, the way that I work. But yeah, this is my, I think, third cover where I've worked almost exclusively digitally, or at least with this one. I did the drawing in pencil, which I showed earlier, and then I've been doing the painting bit of it digitally, and I really, really enjoy working like this. I can definitely see the advantage of having something like the iPad Pro or a larger Wacom Cintiq. But yeah, I am able to do a huge amount just on my little basic drawing tablet. So yeah, I've definitely been getting a lot out of that, and particularly with these custom brushes. This is what it looks like at the moment. Got a bit of a texture going on in the background there, which I might work a bit more on. It's got a bit cold again now. I've got yet another jumper on and a cup of tea. I've just been looking at options for making book covers, for making cloth bound covers for notebooks using these Harry Potter designs. And I thought of something that hadn't really occurred to me before, and that's doing the bookbinding by hand. However, that, for obvious reasons, is not the most ideal situation. It is very time intensive to be doing that, and it would require me to print the fabric at the correct size, and either I'd be then covering an existing book cover or notebook cover. This would be a way of doing one at a time, or a few at a time, just do a small run. So it might be an option. I suppose I could get the covers screen printed locally and then do the binding, but it's something that I'm going to think about and see if that might be viable and how much I'll have to sell them for to make it worthwhile, basically. But yeah, it's a thought. Anyway, that's pretty much my workday over, I think. It's now 8:20, and yeah, I doubt that I will get much more productive stuff done, but a few YouTube tutorials on bookbinding, perhaps. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this little glimpse into what I am doing on a sort of day-to-day basis at the moment, in terms of setting up products for physical products for an online shop and doing some illustration work. I'm hoping that my days going forward will be more like this, and this will be more of an average day, albeit with more client work than personal projects. But yeah, let me know if you find this interesting and if you'd like me to do more, because I definitely can. They're certainly a bit easier to edit than more complex videos. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.